Today I will focus on the watches that were issued and produced at the time of the Vietnam War. The more I researched this topic, the more I discovered that many servicemen weren't issued a MILSPEC watch, or at least not in large numbers. Many men purchased their own watches in Southeast Asia, and many watches were brought to Vietnam from home. But let us begin with the story of the general-purpose watches issued by the Department of Defense and the brands contracted for the job. We begin with specification MILW-381-8B. The contract was first awarded in February of 1964. The specs required a 17-jewel hand-wound movement with accuracy of 30 seconds per more or less per day and a second-hand hacking feature. The steel case was a mere 34 to 35 millimeters wide, anti-magnetic and water-resistant. The crystal was dome arsenic, and the dial established the template for the American field watch. On August 7, 1964, the attacks in the Gulf of Tonkin spurred Congress to pass the Gulf of Tonkin Resolution, which authorized the President to take all necessary measures, including the use of armed force against any aggressor in the conflict. The following October, MILW-46374 was issued. It was meant to be a production, low-cost, disposable alternative to the 3818B. The specs provided for either metal or plastic-cased watches with minimal shock or water resistance and a lower accuracy, non-hacking movement. It was a non-maintainable watch to be issued to infantry and other ground forces. And as the conflict escalated in Vietnam, you saw a demand for lower quality watches. A rarely seen cousin of the MILW-46374 field watch is the FAPD 5101 made by Hamilton. This watch was first issued in late 1969 or early 1970 and was produced specifically to be used for navigators in the U.S. Air Force. It featured a larger case and a 17-jewel Hamilton caliber 684. In 1970, the MILW-50717 spec was released, which resulted in the famed Benrus Type 1 and Type 2 dive watches, produced from 1972 to 1980. These watches use steel, one-piece, 43mm cases. A popular watch among Navy SEALs was the Seiko 6105, which made its debut in 1968. The watch was even worn by Martin Sheen in the film Apocalypse Now. And another icon was the Rolex Submariner, seen here worn by Navy SEALs Harry Humphreys and Franz Scholz in Vietnam. For the men who arrived in Vietnam with their own watches, it was likely a graduation present, a gift from a loved one, or a watch passed down, each one different from the last. Like every man, each one with its own story. For many, the watch was a personal item, one of many things they carried, but one of few that could remind them of home. A part of them from the life they knew before Vietnam. The war would ultimately claim the lives of more than 58,000 Americans. And for thousands more, the war inside would continue the rest of their lives. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.